November 8th, 1946. A black businesswoman confronted racism head-on while on a business trip. She stopped in New Glasgow because her car had broken down. She was told the parts would take a while to arrive, so she decided to see a film to pass the time. She sat in the white-only section of the theater and was asked to move to the colored section. She refused, understanding that racism was fueling the incident. She was arrested and charged a penny for tax evasion. Her name was Viola Desmond. Her actions contributed to the civil rights movement in a massive way.
I can tell you the story that was told in the family over and over again. It was a family story. And when we got together for Thanksgiving or Christmas or birthdays, everybody would say to my father, "Tell us about Viola in the Halifax explosion." So it was, as I had said, the Halifax explosion, December the 6th, 1917. Viola was 3 years old. My mother had gotten a message the day before that her father had passed away. So she was getting ready to go on the train to New Haven, Connecticut, taking 2 of the 5 children with her. My dad was taking care of the 3 girls at home. And the 3 girls were Emily, Helen, and Viola. Helen was the only one in school. And so now it dawns on that terrible day. My mom had gone with the oldest and the youngest boy. And Viola was sitting in her high chair, eating her breakfast. My sister Emily, her sister Emily, was over eating her breakfast. She had a little play table in the kitchen on Gottingen Street, the north end of Halifax. Dad was on his way to the washroom when the explosion struck. Dad said the sink went up to the window came in the bathroom, and he had just stepped into it, and he said, oh my, what happened? The girls. He runs back into the kitchen. He sees Emily on the floor by her table. "You all right, Emily?" "Yes, Papa." She gets up, shakes herself. And then he looks to where the high chair was, where Viola was, and it's gone over into the corner, and there's a window behind Viola which has come in, had broken in, exploded on Viola. He said, "Viola? Viola, oh Lord, oh please, Lord, this child, I'm supposed to be taking care of them. What will I tell Gwen? She's dead." Viola, no answer. He said, no answer. So he gets right to the high chair. There's glass everywhere. And he picks up there's a blind had fallen in from the window on Viola. And then the window had fallen in on top of the blind. So he says, "Viola." And he picks up the blind like that, glass shattering on the floor. And she's sitting there. And she's like this. And he says, "Viola, are you all right?" And she said, Papa, those bad boys throw stones at me." My father said, "Oh, Viola, you're all right?" "Yes, Papa, why did they throw stones at me?" He put his arms around her and he said, I thank God. Everything was all right. And Helen was on her way to school, but she didn't get to school. She was in the hallway downstairs. The force of the blast had knocked her over, but she hadn't gone outside. So he said, "There is a Lord. Thank you, God. Thank you." We were a large family, And on the rainy days in the summer, or the very stormy days in the winter, we'd all say, my brother and I, my sister, my younger ones, Viola, would you make some fudge today? I'm smiling because I can still see it and smell it. And to make fudge those days, that would be in the 30s, it was different. It was more difficult. Longer process. We didn't have the things we have today. So Viola would go over a double boiler, and the bottom pot had water, and the top pot was where she would make the fudge. So that time you would have to beat the fudge for 7 minutes. My sister Helen would be over on one side timing and getting ready. She would relay her to do, take the egg beater and beat it, like that. And my brother and I would wait. We would stand there waiting for the egg beater or the spoon, which one had it. So I can remember those days because Viola would be smiling. She would say, Jackie, wait, it's not your turn for the beater, it's Wanda's turn. I said, I told you so. It's my turn for the egg beater. You had more fudge on that, more chocolate on that than the spoon. So you said, it's not, it's my turn. But we finally figured that Viola would straighten us out, and we could hardly wait for her to hand us the spoon and that. We would be hanging around the stove. But Viola, I can see her now. This day, is it time, Helen? Is it time? My arms are getting tired. And she would be going, I treasure those thoughts because it's home. And it's a old-fashioned home, if you want to call it that way. But in our stove, I can still see it. And I can still see Viola standing there with a smile on her face. Just be patient. Just be patient. It's coming. And we would even fight over whose turn it was to have the egg beater. It had more chocolate on it. But those are the days, the wintry days, the snowy days, the rainy days. Viola we'd say, Vi, let's have some fudge. And we'd all sort of join in. And when it was all ready, it'd be out on the table, and it'd be cool, and they would cut it while it was cooling, cut it, and my brother would come in and say, Viola made her fudge today. You could smell it all over the kitchen. Those are nice times I remember in Viola. On Parents' Day at school, my mom always came to see how we were doing, to talk to the teachers. Viola came with her. She would either close the shop or have her girls. She had the assistant who had appointments to keep it open for that. But she made a point. She had it down in her calendar. This was Parents' Day, Wanda and Jackie at school, my brother Jackie and myself. And she was a force to be reckoned with because I had a confrontation, the teacher had a confrontation with all the black students. One of the teachers, I realize now that she didn't dislike me because of me. She disliked me because of my color, of all the children. And when Viola realized this, she talked to her in the corner of the room. I don't know what she said, but things were a little different after. Yeah, so I saw the teacher's face kind of change color. But she had been playing little games with me, which did not suit Viola at all. But those were the games that she played. Like, shall I tell you what the teacher did? Well, I had transferred from a school in the South End, Sir Charles Tupper. I had been living in that area, and we moved to Garnier Street, so I went to Alexander School. So when I moved there, I went to grade 3, and Miss Reed was the teacher, and her policy was to ignore all black students, no matter what your ability or lack of ability. That should not matter to a teacher. You're a child, you should be taught. But when I walked in, I was struck by the fact that in the back of the corner of the room, they were all black children, and all the rest were white. So she looked at me and she said, "You go down there. the first day I got there, so I went down with the other black children, and she had a policy that she gave a test every month, and if you the first one, the one who came highest in the class, sat in the first row in the first seat, and the next one, and so forth down. But she never had any black children over there because they were ignored. They were allowed to do what they wanted to do, even the ones that wanted to study. She ignored them. If you ignore, what can you do? Anyway, this test that she gave, the one who get the highest, she gave the test, I came the highest. Well, it's a difference in teaching and different in school. I wasn't any brighter than probably any of them, but I had a different teacher in a different school who taught me to my ability. So there I was, very begrudgingly in the first row in the first seat. And this was done back and forth. I was not always the first, I was the second, the first, but I wasn't back with the other children there. So one day she said, no talking. Of course I'm talking now. I was talking then. And she said, Wanda Davis, you're talking? I said, well, yes, but get your things and go to the back of the class. So I was in the back of the class. So I didn't tell my mother because I was talking. So Parents' Day came and Mom said, you seemed upset. So I explained to my mother what happened. And she said, were you talking? And I said, well, yes. She said, well, that's what she told you. But when Viola heard the story, she didn't say anything to me. Mom never talked down about teachers, of any teacher. But Viola didn't either. But when she came in next day, by the time they got there for Parents' Day, the teacher had put me back in the first row, in the first seat. But Viola spoke to her in the corner of the room. I don't know what Viola said, but she didn't bother with me after that. But that's as Viola. She fought for, she loved her family. She would do anything for her family, anything within reason. And she protected us and spoke for us if we didn't speak for ourselves. That was Viola from the time I remember her. Well, I'm speaking for Viola, and I still can't believe it because, Joe and I were speaking about this here. Where did this all begin? I went to university and I started to speak about Viola when the Professor Graham Reynolds at Cape Breton University, he realized that I was Viola's sister. Well, you could tell me, well, this is years later. That was the year 2000, and I had thought about Viola. I had felt sad about Viola. But you know something? I never told my children the story. It's not that it wasn't important. I was busy, but that's no excuse. I guess it wasn't important to me then because I thought, oh, it's the way of the world. And I could never have done what she had done. It's wonderful that she did it, and that's it. That's not it. I find out that's not it. It was the beginning of something great, something that should have been, it could have been started, maybe started, but nothing had been done about it. I know Mrs. Best had the similar incident as Viola. She tried to do something. They weren't ready, I guess. I don't know. All I know was that I thought, I'm being truthful here now. When I heard that Viola she had caused this, I get my expression, she had caused this kerfuffle and landed in jail, I was working, I'd begun to work at the Fisheries Research. I thought, oh my God, my sister's in jail, gone to jail. I was such an idiot. I didn't realize the ramifications, what she had done. All I could think about was me. Come on, this tells you what kind of a shallow person I was, 19 years old or some ridiculous age that I should have known better. I went into work and they said, "Is it the paper? Was that your sister?" I said, "Yes, yes." Now what kind of a sister is that? What kind of a black person is that? I didn't. All I could think about was the shame of being in jail. Please excuse me, Viola, because I'm so happy that this has come forward. In my late years, it's never too late to learn something. Even something as important as racism and obvious attacks of racism and segregation. Well, thank you, Viola. That's all I could say. Because she had more, if she had been my age, she would have gotten it right away and gotten on the bandwagon. I didn't. I went backwards and got into my shell and stayed there. I was comfortable. I was selfish. But I like me now. A little bit more. But when I think of what she did, it still blows my mind. It's cool, it's awesome. But to think that people coming to her and saying, "You have to move." People have asked me what I would have done. Well, I would have been angry, but I would have gone out like that and never come back. Now, what kind of people are going to do something in this world if they all have this attitude of, "I'm fine, leave me alone," But as I say, you're never too late to learn. And I'm here now, thank the Lord, I'm here now. And I thank Viola every day I do. And I wish she were here. And I see something about her in the paper, I see a picture of her, and I'm gathering together a scrapbook things, and I think, oh, if she were only here. I can't get over it. I just can't get over what she's done. To be pardoned for something you've done 60-odd years ago, to be pardoned for that. I thank the government. There's so many people I have to thank that I don't thank anybody because I'll leave somebody out. But mostly all, Viola. What a woman. She had classes. She was a teacher at the beginning of her career. She was a teacher. And she had classes when she became a hairdresser, an entrepreneur. She made her own products. She was a one-woman wonder, really, really. I was wondering how many people could I be all-inclusive? That's not good enough. To thank so many people that have helped this to come about, helped me to speak up, helped me to be what I am. I really, really thank my husband for everything, because I couldn't do this without him. He's a retired high school teacher. He's everything. And he's been one of us. And so if anything happens to one of us, the family, it happens, he's there. But I stop and think, I have it. I have it now. Thank you. I have it now. You know who I appreciate and who I want to thank the most are the children. The children, education is everything. And if we're going to get it, I mean black people, or people, indigenous people, or people of any race, of any different race than white. If even the white, if you want to get anywhere, if you want to be anybody, if you want to do something, you have to get your education first. And this is why, when I went to Cape Breton University and I met Dr. Graham Reynolds, he and I became a team. So I was sent out for schools. I went to, I don't think there's no school or college that I have not, or in a university that I have not spoken to. I've spoken to police forces and about Viola. The word has been spread. But when I get in a schoolroom and I see those little faces looking up at me, and most of them, I know the scene. I know they do, or they get it wrong. Somebody thinks that it's Rosa Parks they're talking about. This comes up a great deal of time, even though I explained to them she's 9 years after Viola. But the word has been getting out to the little ones, and they come up to me with their eager, bright faces. Miss, I drew a picture of your sister. Miss, I have so many reminders of these children in my home. I'm thinking of having all over the wallpaper, because of their artwork. And thank you, Viola, and thank you. It's been, and that's where, if we're going to have any change whatsoever in the attitude, in the mind thinking, in the way people walk and they think and they work, or if they view people. I had finished speaking, and my husband had laid out some things about Viola, some articles and some paraphernalia and some articles about Viola they were reading, and they had their arm around each other. One was black and one was white. I thought, look at that. Look at that. It wouldn't have happened in my day. Even if they'd wanted to, they didn't dare to. But I went up to them. I said, "Oh, you girls are friends." "Oh yeah, we're good friends. We go away." I thought, this is it. This is it. This is it. This is where it's going to work. If it works, it's got to start with the basic, with the children. And this is what I put my hopes in, and I'm sure that it's going to happen. It will be slow, but it will happen through the little ones, the children, who have open minds. That's what I hope to. I know it will be because of the young people.
My name is Gwen Jeffries, and we're doing an interview on Viola Desmond.
My name is Gertrude Jeffries, and we're here with Solaz doing an interview on Viola Desmond.
My name is Josephine Jeffries, and I'm here also going to answer a few questions that we know of Viola Desmond.
I think you need to know a little more about her to really appreciate all the rest that's going on for her. And it's because we've had the advantage of being able to grow up knowing her, not just knowing about her. I came to know Viola through, actually it started way back when we were in grade school. Viola had sent some information to our school, and I remember the teacher giving out these little pieces of paper, we didn't know what they were until we got home, to all the black kids in her class. And we came to find out that Viola was starting a hair club for the black kids in the area, and this was the invitation to join her hair club.
Yes, I do remember getting that invitation and not knowing really what it was at first, and you begin to wonder why was all the black children receiving these little cards. We didn't know it was an invitation right then, but it made you wonder and question what's going on, but it was a happy thing afterwards.
I remember I was in a couple of grades above my sisters, but I got the card also. I thought, oh my, what's they going to do with the black children now?
We were invited to join Viola's hair club, and of course we took her up on the offer. And it was quite an experience for us. It was a wonderful experience for us, really, and a very beneficial one to us. It was wonderful because, for several reasons, we met Viola. We, of course, didn't know her before then. We met her and found out what a lovely lady she was, and especially to the children, and because her hair was always looking good.
Wonderful for me was very, very wonderful. First of all, because my hair was kind of short, and it was I was always had a hard time getting it done. And here was a woman who was going to do it for me. And I was really pleased over that. And so in my mind, I was saying, that's good. I realized that she had other children, but to me, she was just doing it for me.
First of all, it was wonderful getting my hair done. I didn't have to worry about that at home anymore. But it was also a meeting with the children. It was on Saturdays. It just was something that would light up your day. That we would get just to meet there with the other children and so forth. And Viola, she was a very nice lady when she'd greet us at the door with a smile all the time.
What kind of person was Viola? I would say a very warm person, a very loving person, a very caring person. And she put you at ease. I mean, you didn't have to feel awkward around her. So that's good for kids, because kids are very intimidated a lot of times by adults. And Viola just made you feel special and that you were in a safe place.
Well, I have to say almost the same thing, because that's what, affected you was her warmth and her friendliness and the fact that she treated you, like somebody. She didn't, you were kids, go sit down there, but she treated you like someone. And there was always warmth there and laughter. And I think it's because, it's just the way that she saw you.
To me, I always felt that Viola was a person who put herself in the background if she could help somebody else. And here was a little black girl that she could do something for, and she did it.
Viola, I remember, was never without a smile. I mean, when she met you, it's the first thing you noticed about her was her smile. And you knew it was genuine. It wasn't a put on.
Even when you first met her, her smile said, "I love you. Come in and be my friend." I felt that when I come in the door of her shop, that smile was there, and I knew that I was in a place that somebody really wanted to help me.
It was part of her, because it was always there. Whenever you met her, that smile was always there, and it made you feel welcome and warm and right at ease.
I'm not sure why we called her Vi. We've always known her as Vi, and I'm not sure where the Vi came from.
You said Vi, and that was okay with her. Here was a child who wanted to call me Vi. That's all right. I know her love, and she knows my love. That was it. Yeah.
Well, it just felt right. You just say Saturday, I'm going up to Vi's, get my hair done. And she never, seemed to mind us saying Vi or anything. But as you say, with older people, we were always taught to say Mr. or Mrs. So, but Vi was Vi. I don't know, was the closeness or the fact that she was doing your hair or what, but Vi was Vi. And she was okay with that, and we were okay with that as kids.
I think Vi was one of the few people that we called first names, without being reminded by my parents that it was Mr. or Mrs. Well, hope I can remember it properly. I remember being in class and the teacher having this little packet of papers in her hand, and she didn't call us up, she just began to walk up and down the aisle and put them on the desks of the black kids. But I remember, even though I was quite young, I remember thinking, oh dear, I think I'm in trouble. What's this for? And then not finding out until we got home and our parents telling us it's something quite okay, and Viola, Desmond's going to be doing your hair, and it's quite good. So I was quite relieved over that. But it was quite a little jolt to have these papers going around to just the black kids, because we didn't know at the time what they were. And so I was a little apprehensive, but it turned out to be good.
The only thing I guess I could add is the white children would start to question why. Why didn't they get one? After a while they found out why. Yeah. But that was about the excitement and the wonder what it's about, and so forth.
I think I said before, I was the only black girl in my class, and there was one black boy. And when the teacher come up and put my card on my table, the white kids was wondering, well, what's happening? And me too. What's this for? You know, I didn't really realize what it was, something good for me. Being the only black girl in my class, I always felt that I was nothing compared to the other white girls. But when I started getting my hair done, I walked in class just with my head up because I felt that I was something now, just as much as anybody else. And I had so many young girls say to me, "Oh, your hair looks beautiful." And I felt good about it.
Oh, it was a great feeling because you were always proud of your hair. You didn't have to put something on to hide your hair or something. It was always done. And you felt good about it, you know, and people would remark about it and say how nice it looked and everything. You say thank you. Sometimes they ask, where did your mom or something do it? I said, no, Viola done it. Vi, we called her, and we would say no, Vi, you know, and they would say, you know, how nice it was and everything. So it made you feel good, you know.
Well, in our area where we lived, I think everybody knew who Viola was anyway. So to say Vi did it, you know, everybody would know where we've been. But it was also, it was a good feeling, although I was so young, you know, then because I'm not sure just what grade it was, grade 2 or 3 or something.
In the years that where we grew up, it was always a little bit of tension between both races. And Viola, like everybody else, she read in the paper some of the things that happened, and she said, "Now I can do something. I want to do something with the black kids to let them know that I am behind them, and I feel for them." And that's what she did.
I would say, well, she made us feel proud by doing our hair and everything. But business, and in her business, she would have to take a little cut because she never charged us the full price for our hair or anything. But she would just go right along and do it and everything. So, you know, her business would have to take a hit there. But she was pleased and happy to do that in order to help us to look great.
She was a very real person. And when I say real, I mean, she was genuine, and she cared about people. She cared about her race, and I think that's very important.
Almost the same that although we didn't have much, Viola wanted to do something for us and let the black children know that they were somebody also.
That she was a caring person, a very loving person. That she cared about children especially. I would like to know that, and that she was, you know, a warm person.
I wish she were still here.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it would be nice if you could say thank you to her, what she, you know, did for the young people and for the black children, you know, so for in their thoughtfulness, and it would be nice just to say thank you, Viola. Well appreciated.
Yeah, that's what I think. I wish you were here just to go up and say, "But I appreciate what you did when I was a young girl. I still remember. I wish it was more of I older like you."